welcome to Special Stage and round 3 of the REIS Asphalt Rally Championship. Now this is our only trip to Ireland this year for the ALMC stages, so let's take a look at who's here this weekend. So Championship leader Simon Major leads the crews away. Steve Simpson just behind, needing a result here this weekend after a bad opening round. Damien Cole is no stranger to a good result on the Irish lanes and looking for one final victory before retiring the current world rally car in place of a new Fiesta WRC. The last time these guys were out was the Isle of Man, and of course, although this is also a closed road event, Ireland is very different. We're at the ceremonial start now, so we're going to have a catch up with the guys and see how they're feeling.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, we love coming over to Ireland, and particularly this rally. It's always been really good, very well organised event, and the enthusiasm, as you can see, loads of crowds here, and yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
We're going to have a good push. Might possibly be the last time we use the Focus. Served us well for the last 5.5 years. We're on 24 overall wins with it now, so it'd be nice to get the 25th one tomorrow.
We went really well here last year. I think the weather will be a little different. It was patchy last year, but I think it's going to be all rain this year. But I think we'll do well again. There's some strong competition here with Major and that, but I think we'll be all right. I think we'll be able to challenge them.
So the crews have had some sleep and they're out here now lining up to go out on the first stage. Now the weather's all right so far, but tyre choices could be pretty tricky today. Let's head out to the stages for all of the action. On to the first loop of stages, and the rain was on its way. Unfortunately for the crews, it arrived too late for them to make an educated tyre choice, and we would lose some of our main contenders. The first of which would be Damien Cole and Jack Morton. They crash out on stage 1 after being caught out in the conditions. We would also lose Steve Simpson and Patrick Walsh, retiring on stage 2 after lying in second overall. So for Simon Major and Jonathan Hawkins, it would be the rally lead. It wouldn't be inherited from retirement. The lead was theirs from the start. Fastest on the opening stages despite the wrong tyres and lack of volume on the intercom. Simon, we always knew today was going to be tactical as far as tyres went. How was it for you out there?
Obviously, as you can see, I think most of the field went out on slicks. It was nice sunshine, and although we knew there was a threat of rain, it was dry at the time, so you have to go with the conditions at the time. And halfway through the first stage, obviously, it was like a switch, someone turned on the tap and it was just absolutely soaking wet. So very, very tricky conditions. You know, we were very cautious, and as you can see, I think Simo and Damien have had problems in there, which is not surprising. It was very, very slippy.
But you kept it on the black stuff.
Yeah, I kept on back, so I'm not really happy with the pace. We're struggling with the intercom at the moment. I'm really struggling to hear John, so I'm not committed. I know there's a lot more time to come out of me. I'm just not attacking the corners at the moment, just not committed. But we're going to see if we can sort the intercom out. I don't know what it is. It's a problem. Maybe I'm getting a bit deaf in the old age, I think. I don't know.
Simon Chapman and Alex Lee enjoyed their best start in the championship so far. Finishing the morning loop in second place, they had a bit of a moment in stage 1, but that would be the only issue of the morning. Simon, you've made it through those first 3 stages when we've lost a lot of people.
Yeah, it's very, very slippy. Stage 1 was treacherous quite near the beginning, and it obviously caught Damien out, but we had a big moment in there for about 150 yards whilst we tried to gather it together. But every time we tried to sort of put the power down to pull out of it, it just went again, and it was quite a heart-stopping moment. But yeah, as you say, we're here. Car's running fantastically. Driver's not quite so good, but room for improvement.
David Hardy and John McCulloch were having a good run. Great for their championship race. It was a cautious start in the tricky conditions, but getting better as the morning went on to lighten third at this stage. Not the easiest of mornings.
No, the first 2 stages were very treacherous. That one there was much better. Get a bit more confidence. It was a lot drier, so enjoyed it, but not the first 2.
Sadly for Alex Laffey and Andrew Roughhead, Hardy's closest championship rivals at this stage, it would be a bad start. The boost pipe on the turbo coming loose in the stage, and the pair are forced to limp through and lie right down in 24th overall. David and Matthew White thought they had got off to a bad start, a wrong tyre choice for the opening stage, but it wasn't too bad after that. Despite the negative feelings, it was still 4th overall for the pair.
Very slippy, treacherous, standing water, wrong tyres, all went wrong, but really enjoyed it. One for the brave, I guess.
And you're definitely up there with the brave?
I'd like to think so.
A different tyre choice for Adrian Spencer and Mark Hewitt sees them have a better run on the slippery first stage than the sun. But of course, with the drying conditions in the later stages, the tyres were starting to go off a little. Ireland's throwing all sorts of weather at you.
It is. Unfortunately, I think we made the right tyre choice and went out on wets, which was a bit of an advantage early on. Going off a little bit now, but no, we're keeping it in there, that's the main thing.
You felt a bit more secure in there than some people on slicks, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, we won't really know till we see the times. That's the interest. We've no idea how everybody's doing, but I think we're on a reasonable pace, considering we've never been here before and it's all new. So I'm just trying to learn the grip levels, and you're not quite sure, and so got to be a little bit careful. But no, it's been good. I enjoyed last stage. That was good. I enjoyed that one. Beginning to get into the rhythm now.
David Fleming and John Falvey would make a great start to the event, flying 6th after stage 3. Something which may have been different had it not been for this spin on the opening stage. With just 8 seconds between them and Spencer ahead, it could have been very close. It's been a little bit tricky out there.
Yeah, the first stage there was very wet and we were on slicks. But we got some big frights, a huge moment actually in the first stage. But we had the right tyres in for the rest of the loop, so it's all a compromise here, like. Having fun anyway.
Not a bad compromise when you're still here.
Exactly, yeah.
David Tin and Giles Dykes would struggle in the first loop, not with the conditions, but they catch a car in the stage and lose time stuck behind them. And with times all so close, this could have been the difference in their 7th place and fighting for the podium. It's good to see you here after a difficult morning.
Yeah, slicks and stage 1, not a good move. Then we unfortunately caught Turnbull and he didn't know we were behind, so I think we've dropped 25-30 seconds. We're a long way behind him. We shut the 30-second gap, so that's cost me a lot on stage 1. So we're playing catch-up, but now the ones on wets will have struggled on the last stage and a half, where it's come to us on slicks. Hopefully we've just pulled a bit back.
Problems from the start for Royston and Bridge Carey, the intercom not working in the early stages and the pair struggling to hear the notes. But it didn't stop a good run, lying in 8th place now and leading the way in the B11 class. Paul Evans and Den Golding were just settling into the stages. Not wanting to do anything silly, they have a good start after finding the pace to end the morning in 9th overall and leading the B12 class. Finding it difficult out there this morning, how was it for you?
Just the first stage really. Yeah. Second and third were a lot more grip, but just got to be careful. Just find the limit, so you don't know how you're going in there till you check a few people's times, and our times seem respectable really, so quite happy.
And rounding out the top 10 were Richard and Ben Slinger. The pair clearly trying as they overshoot one of the corners in this morning's loop. The weather's given you all sorts out there, hasn't it?
Well, it's thrown a bit of everything so far, I think. It's a bit tricky, yeah.
How did you find that first stage, the one that was really wet?
Not bad. We took a good choice on tyres. We went for inters, so we were quite lucky, but it was still very slippy, a lot of aquaplaning and things like that, but it's going good, enjoying it.
In the classes outside the top 10, it would be second in the B11 class for Josh Payton and Marcus Mizzen. The pair settling into the stages and building the pace as they go along. For Andrew Hockridge and Alid Edwards, it would be second in the B12 class. The pair going out on wets and thought the tyres were going off in the later stages. But the problem was later traced to a damaged suspension strut. Roger Moran and Ashley Trimble were having a good run in 14th overall, taking the final step of the podium in the B12 class in the Escort. Not the best of starts for Graham Coffey and Jenny Gabler, the only ones in the AA class, so that was safe. But they struggled through the opening stages with the wipers not clearing the rain fast enough. David Earthy and Claire Williams once again had the A6 class to themselves, having a good run so far to light in 17th overall in the Citroen, even if they did have to change the clutch cable on the road section. Darren and Sue Underwood were still getting used to the switch to rear-wheel drive, and in the conditions in stage 1, it wasn't easy. They have a spin but get away with it, to light in 3rd in the B11 class. A clean and tidy run for Ian Barnard and Richard Bonner this morning, as they are happy enough to finish the loop with the engines still intact, leading the way in the B9 class. The gap in the B10 class was a substantial one, with Tim Seipel and Matthew Smalley being the ones to take up 2nd in that class in the MG. And they would be closely followed by Adrian Beattie and Declan Ryan. A broken brake pipe in this loop wasn't helping their push up the results. And it would be 26th overall and 2nd in the B9 class for Ian and Mags Kelly. The pair were having a few fuel issues, but at least they were still running. So at the end of stage 3, the results look like this. Simon Major leads, and with the loss of a number of faces, it's a very different leaderboard. On to stage 6 then, and there would be no change in the lead for Simon Major and Jonathan Hawkins, backing off a little to ensure a finish, but trying to get that balance between backing off and losing concentration. Did you get your little intercom problem sorted out?
Yeah, we've, well, not the first time. We went out the first stage and it was a bit better, and then it started playing up again. And we just found another setting on this super duper fantastic intercom here, and so I think if we'd have had that all along, it might have been all right. So a bit of error on our part there, but never mind. It seems a lot better. Obviously, we're just trying to maintain our pace. You know, we don't want to do anything silly. We're sort of cruising a bit, but you don't want to cruise too much, as you know, because you can lose your concentration. So we're keeping a steady pace, but not overdoing it.
It was still a good run for Simon Chapman and Alex Lee in this loop of stages. They remain in 2nd place, happy with the car's performance, and now just looking to build up their pace to match.
I know we've got 3 stages left, but you're having a pretty good day so far.
I'm having a brilliant day. I didn't know when I saw you last that we were where we were. So obviously it was a wonderful surprise when I came into service. And the car's just fantastic. Alex is doing a brilliant job for me. And we're just having a ball. It's absolutely superb.
For David Hardy and John McCulloch, it would be 3rd, flying 2nd in the B13 class at this stage 2. Trying hard on the stages, and this loop feeling better in the car.
You were giving it some coming around that corner.
Yeah, we're trying. That's I can say that. We're trying very hard.
Are you enjoying it today? You're doing pretty good.
Well, yeah, not too bad. The second 3 stages are much better, much drier, so huge amount of time improvement on the first 3. So, yeah, really enjoying it.
Good luck.
And move up the results for David Tin and Giles Dykes. No hold-ups in this loop, but they had made a wrong tyre choice once again and felt things could have been a lot better.
How's it going now it's dried out for you?
Well, we put inters on now it's dried out. We run slicks in the wet and inters in the dry. So we've got it the wrong way round today. We're chasing the time this morning. It's really cocked us up with being held up. So we've just got to crack on. I think we're inside the top 10 now, but not happy, no.
Unfortunately for David and Matthew White, the move up the results for Tin meant a move down a place for them. A puncture in stage 5 was the cause of some loss of time, but the pair still remained in a strong position.
You don't seem to be having a bad day.
Well, it's going well actually, really enjoyed it. We got a puncture on stage 5 there through the farmyard, front near side puncture. Managed to change that between stages, and we've felt like we worked quite well in that last stage. Yeah, it's going well.
Sadly, we would lose David Fleming and John Falvey from the results in this loop of stages. The drive shaft breaking as they exit one corner, and they are forced to call it a day. A place down for Adrian Spencer and Mark Hewitt, 3rd of the B13 class runners at this stage, and finding the stages much better in this loop and getting into a rhythm.
A little bit better now it's dry?
Much better, it's much better. Really enjoying it now. It's not a bad stage. I would say slip, it does flow nicely. You know, you can get a bit of a rhythm going, but No idea how anybody's doing. I don't know where we are, what's happening, not a clue. So I can't say where we are, just see what happens when we get back to next service, and hopefully we'll have some results and see where we are.
Graham Coffey and Jenny Gabler would be finding the conditions much better in this loop, but a tyre gamble didn't pay off, and they go out on wet, only to find the stages dry. Still, they move up to 7th overall.
How was that loop for you?
The gamble went wrong. We went on a wet tyre and it's been bone dry for all 3 stages, so it's like driving a jelly car at the moment, but at least there's some grip in there, so it's okay.
It's very much tactical, this event. That's what it's turned into anyway.
I think it is, and I think nobody can predict what the weather's going to be, and it's like, at the moment we're going to go on slicks for the next loop, but the probability is it's going to rain, so who knows what we're going to do. It's a total lottery at the moment, but we're here and we're having fun.
Roger Moran and Ashley Trimble make a good move up the results to lie in 8th overall now, and the pair also leading the way in the B12 class. Not bad for a lack of time on the lanes in recent years.
Are you still enjoying it as much out there as you were earlier?
Just a bit. Yeah, just a bit. It's better now, it's a bit drier. Yeah, no, it's really good. Yeah, no, it's brilliant. Fair play. I haven't been in the lanes like this for years. This is rallying.
The reason for the new lead for Moran was the loss of Paul Evans and Den Golding. They retire in this loop of stages, handing Moran the class lead. Bob Fowden and David Williams moved the right way up the results. It had been a few years since Fowden had been here himself. The move up to 9th place was a welcome one. Richard and Ben Slinger were another caught out by the tyre choice, staying with the Inters from this morning, but sadly the stages were too dry. But better safe than sorry. They round out the top 10 at this stage.
A little bit drier out there now.
Yeah, a lot faster. But yeah, it's good now, but we're still on intermediates, so it's just knowing whether to go on to slicks for the next round, isn't it?
Yes, it's very much a gamble, isn't it, at this stage?
Well, it just started spitting in there then, and it made all the difference. It was so slippy as soon as those few spots came down, because it's so shiny in there as well. But no, we had a good run.
For Royston and Bridge Carey, it would be a slip down the results a little. They take up 11th overall at this stage and lead the way in the B11 class, having fun out on the stages. Unfortunately, we would lose Josh Payton and Marcus Mizzen in a dramatic fashion when they crash out of the event. The car was badly damaged, but the crew both okay. No change in the B12 class for Andrew Hockridge and Alid Edwards. They remain 2nd in the B12 class, trying to find a steady pace and not do anything to affect that this weekend. Richard Felgate and Mark Mason have a good loop of stages to move into 3rd in the B12 class. Unfortunately for them, a problem with the car in this last stage was enough to sideline them, and they will retire shortly after the stage. David Earthy and Claire Williams of course continue to have the A6 class to themselves, enjoying things now as they gain a little more grip in the drying conditions. Things were going better for Alex Laffey and Andrew Roughhead now. The turbo boost pipe fixed and the pair were putting in some good times. Sadly, it would be too late for a good result this weekend. Darren and Sue Underwood were still having a dramatic run. A spin on the 2nd stage in the loop saw them collect some of the scenery, but nothing serious. A good run continued for Ian Barnard and Richard Bonner. The slow start to the day still got them the class lead, and that wasn't in danger of going. They remain in the lead going into the final loop. Problems once again in this loop of stages for Adrian Beattie and Declan Ryan. Something loose on the car making the handling less than ideal, but the pair lead the way in the B10 class. With the problems from the morning over, it was all coming together for Ian and Mags Kelly, putting in some times they were happy with and lying 2nd in the B9 class. Unfortunately, an accident in stage 7 would bring the event to a premature end, meaning the results after stage 7 were declared final. Everyone at the championship wishes those involved a speedy recovery. Well done, another good result for the championship.
Yeah, I mean, obviously slightly sad conditions, you know. I'm unfortunate about the accident there towards the end. Just hope that everyone concerned are okay and nothing too serious. So, you know, keep our fingers crossed for that. We certainly don't need any more like that. But yeah, the rally, you know, for us has obviously gone quite well. It's a bit difficult after the first couple of stages, losing Simo there and Damien. We just had to drive sort of no more than 80% really, but that's sometimes harder, you know, to keep your concentration. But you know, we'd have definitely settled for that result at the beginning of the day, so we're quite pleased. But yeah, I mean, I have to say a big thanks to the team. They've done a great job. They've been working really, really hard leading up to the rally. You know, the car is, you know, it's coming on really nicely. It's going so well now and progressing every rally. So a big thanks to the team. They've done a great job.
It's not been the easiest season for you so far, but today you've pretty much pulled it off.
Yeah, we're very, very happy. The car's run superbly. We've learnt an awful lot about it. Alex has done a fantastic job on the notes, so thank you to him. And yeah, it's gone really well, and it's just, it restores your faith, I suppose, a little bit that, you know, the car's very capable, and I just need a bit more seat time, I think.
Are you feeling confident? Because obviously we've only got 4 weeks now until Tyneside stages.
Unfortunately, I'm unable to do Tyneside. I've got to go to a family wedding, so we've put an entry on the Harry Flatters the week before to try and get some more experience on Epping. So Alex and I are going to go and try our luck on that event.
Alex, are you going to be joining Simon for the rest of the season?
I don't know yet. We've had a good day today. It's always a bit daunting when you sort of sit with someone for the first time and you don't really know what to expect, but yeah, we've had a good day. It's been really good. Hopefully we'll do a bit more together.
David, a great result for you.
Yes, very pleased with that today. Concerned that we were really off the pace in the first stage or two, but came on to quite a good run at the end. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it.
And of course, behind every great driver is an excellent co-driver. Has he listened to you today?
Oh yes, he's done very well. Yep. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and he's drove brilliant all day. And even this morning in the terrible conditions, you know, we were quite surprised to come out of the first stage line in 6th place. So we thought we were going poorly, but it just lets you see, and the days just got better as it's got on. And thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been great.
So the visit to Ireland marks the halfway point in the championship. And the points after round 3 look like this. Next up, it's back to the UK and the Tyneside stages in August. See you there.
Right left in and 6 right continues over 10.